get recognized in the grocery store?
Yes, I don't leave my house.
But
I
you
get
go to the
followed.
grocery store.
I get
Really?
followed to my car. I get like grabbed by men who think that they're entitled to me because they've seen me do certain things on the internet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like I truly do not feel safe leaving my house unless I'm with a man, because it deters, I would say, 60% of the psychos when I'm with someone who's a little
Right.
more intimidating.
Yeah.
But 40% still come up to me even when I'm with a group of people or a man who is much bigger than them or
Really?
Yes.
For people who don't know, you used to be in the adult industry.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into that?
I think that the reason I went into it is because I had very low self-esteem. And when I started getting some validation from the people who were working there, I felt like I needed to do everything to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Which is why I did it more than once. Like, it wasn't just a one
Right.
video thing. Granted, I was only in it for a couple months, but like a couple months is a long time, especially
Yeah.
in that industry. It just took me a while to come to my senses and realize that this is going to damage me.
What was
Extremely.
the moment where you came to your senses about it?
I think when everyone started like realizing what I was doing,
Right.
when it started to pick up attention and get into the news cycle and the death threats started to come in.
Yeah, didn't ISIS hack your Twitter or something?
They hacked my Instagram when it was at 2 million followers, and then Instagram shut the whole page down because it was just propaganda on propaganda on propaganda.
Oh, jeez. That's scary.
Yeah, it was unnerving, to say the least.
And then what was the video that got all the attention?
The one in the hijab.
Did they think it could be a bad idea?
I did, and I think that they're in the mindset of any press is good press.
Right.
So they were looking out for themselves and the clicks that they would get, and I was looking out for me but was too scared to actually put my foot down after voicing my concerns.
The turning point was when you were hacked.
Oh no, that wasn't the turning point.
Okay, the turning point was before.
Yeah, it was just when all of the news outlets started to report on it, and the more I read what they were putting out, the more I realized that I wasn't being true to myself. I was doing it because for a very, very brief period of time, it was boosting my self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as all of that went away, everything would come crashing back down, because true self-esteem comes from within and believing in yourself and loving who you are, not from men or other people telling
Yeah.
you you're beautiful.
Right. And I read you only made $12,000 from it?
Before taxes.
Before taxes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you did what, like 12 videos?
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of your criticizers have been from girls in the porn industry, is that correct?
Yes. They do not like me.
And why?
I think it's because they look at it like I'm taking for granted what they've been working all their life for. And this was
Oh,
handed to
okay.
me, and I just threw it away, and now I talk bad about it.
But like, shouldn't you have the right to your opinion?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm not bashing girls who do it. I'm saying I did it for the wrong reasons,
Right.
and it wasn't right for me.
You know, we all have insecurities, and I think what you're doing is you're saying, hey, this is why I did this, because I was insecure. And I think a lot of women will see that, and maybe they won't choose that in the future if they maybe would have, if they felt good. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of things feel good in the moment, but
Exactly.
then it's not necessarily good for you overall.
Exactly. Once reality starts to set in and the adrenaline is gone, it's a harsh look in the mirror.
Did you ever call like your friends or anything and be like, hey, should I do this? Or-
Not until after, which was
Oh.
also something I feel like I should have done, was to talk to people beforehand. But in the moment, it felt like the right thing to do for my ego.
I feel like there's a double standard, because a lot of people in Lebanon and the Middle East were the ones that were clicking on you, right?
Yeah,
And yet you
they're the
weren't allowed
ones
to
who
go
are
back?
the most angered and appalled by what I was doing.
It just baffles me that it's okay to watch porn, but it's not okay to do porn.
Yeah.
You were just doing
Muslim
what?
countries statistically consume more porn than anyone else.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you decide that I no longer want to be in this industry, so what did you do from there?
I quit. I basically went into hiding. I chopped my hair off. I tried to dye it blonde, but it landed at more of like a straw color. It was rough. Like, I tried to find just an office job, but it was way too late for me to go back to a normal life. And it took me a good, I would say, year to realize that there's no going back to just normalcy for me. I was a paralegal,
Okay.
and then I was a bookkeeper for a construction firm. And both jobs, I felt like everyone in the office knew who I was. The one at the construction firm was a little better because I was the only one in the office.
Yeah.
But when people would come in, to pay their bills or whatever, I felt very uncomfortable.
They all recognized you?
Yeah, yeah. Especially at the law firm. There was a few partners who like made comments to me, and just once someone lets me know that they've essentially seen me naked,
right,
I never want to be around them.
Yeah.
I realized that I just fully need a fresh start and to leave Miami.
So then what did you do from there?
I moved to Austin, Texas. I created an Instagram account from scratch, and I decided to basically lean into it.
Okay, so you start building your Instagram, you start writing, and then how did it go from there?
It went really good, but it wasn't that big of a change, and I also wasn't making that much, and it wasn't so much a career as it was just me trying to do something. And the turning point was when I forced my manager to be my manager and poached him from the company he was at. And it was seriously within a month that he told me I had a sports show. I got offered to host a sports show with my childhood hero, and it was the most amazing thing ever.
That's amazing.
It was incredible. I got to sit next to Gilbert Arenas on a daily basis and just talk about sports with him, and it was a dream come true.
That's so cool. And now you're living in LA.
Yeah.
That's my phase too. What made you move to LA?
My fiance Robert is opening a restaurant here. So
okay.
He moved to America for me, and the least I could do was move to Los Angeles for him.
So question, I've heard like Drake and all these people were sliding in your DMs, and yet you met your fiance by sliding into his DMs.
No, I said I stalked him on Instagram.
Okay.
And I liked 17 of his pictures that were 52 weeks old in a row.
17.
Give or take a few.
Okay.
Might have been a few more. But the day after that, he DM'd me. And his opening line was so lame.
Oh no.
Oh, it was so cringy. Oh my God. He was like, "Hey, are you into food?" And I'm like, this is the best you can do. And then he started, I asked him where he was from, and he said he was from Sweden. And I said, "Oh, my favorite hockey player is from Sweden. I love Nicholas Backstrom." Yeah. And he goes, "Come visit me in Sweden. I'll cook for you and him." And I'm like, "You're such a liar. Keep talking."
Did he actually know him? Or
No.
Wow.
I make fun of him every day for that.
And then you flew to him.
I did. I flew to Copenhagen to meet him, and
How did you know though he wasn't gonna be crazy?
So I got my own hotel room.
Okay.
I had my location services shared with like 5 of my friends. I made sure to have contingency plans if he was a psycho. I wasn't there just to visit him. I made my own trip out of it and made all of these reservations at restaurants I wanted to try, and pre-booked a couple train tickets in case I really just wanted to get away from him.
Yeah.
But I got there, and the second I met him, I knew that was it.
And did he know who you were before, or was he just...
No, one of his friends told him.
I feel like that's what I would have done.
I know.
I'm like, who has never seen me? Oh, great. Like, let's meet.
It was so hard for me to date because I never wanted to date anyone who was into me for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me to find someone who was genuine and also at the same time not scared or, they didn't run away from my past.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really cool. So Teen Vogue recently came out and said, why sex work is real work targeted towards teens. Do you think teens should be learning about prostitution?
I don't think they should be encouraged to do it. I think they should learn toleration.
Right.
Not so much sex work is real work as a title.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be hush-hush about it and kind of, like behind closed doors you can only talk about it. But at the same time, like, these are impressionable young women.
Right.
And some of them...
I feel like you're in your most vulnerable in your teens.
Yes.
And I feel like the issue is we're being targeted so much in our teens.
I didn't get the building blocks and the resources to have like self-esteem from within until very recently. It took a lot of years of therapy and a lot of self-reflection and a lot of, shutting the wrong people out of my life and just working on myself. And I wasn't in a place to speak on it until very recently this year.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't even know why I did it until recently. Like, it took so much time in therapy for me to look back and truly understand why I did porn.
Yeah, because sometimes in the moment you're like, well, no one's gonna find out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it was a whole different thought process.
Yeah, and even when I knew I was doing something wrong and decided to quit, I didn't know why. It was just a gut feeling that I decided to follow the same way it was reaction for me to say yes and do it in the first place.
So you felt like you were doing something wrong, or did you feel like?
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
Anytime that validation would go away and I would be left alone with my thoughts, I knew in my heart of hearts that I was doing something wrong, but it was very hard to say no to that,
Because they
short
probably
confidence
treated you really
boost.
well. You
Yeah,
probably,
exactly.
Like, when it was like
Yeah.
food everywhere, like probably super fancy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I should be grateful because I'm getting this opportunity, but at the same time, like, it makes me feel terrible.
Not so much opportunity, it was just more attention because I had never gotten that before.
Yeah.
But I was overweight for, honestly, until a year before I went into the industry. I was 50 pounds overweight. And then I lost all the weight, and the first thing to go was my breasts, and
That's
I
annoying.
felt very empty without
Yeah.
them. So I decided to get a breast augmentation, and as soon as I got that, my self-esteem hadn't caught up to the way I looked presently.
Because you always think you look how you used to look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I still walked around feeling like I looked like the old me.
Right.
And then all of these people started showing me attention, and I did not know what to do with it.
And that's how you got approached.
Yeah. I don't want anyone else to make the same mistakes I did because it almost ruined my life. Thankfully, I was able to salvage it and try to move on from it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that some other girls in my position would have survived it because it was a lot. And thankfully, I had the right people around me to help me out and
Yeah.
hold my hand through it and just kind of be a rock for me. But yeah.
Do you think there's still a double standard with trying to leave it versus people still watching it?
Of course. No one wants to kind of let you move on from your past. They think that they have an upper hand over you because of a mistake you made that's out there for the world to see.
Well, I know everyone's experience is different, but what was your experience in therapy? What were the breakthrough moments for you? Like, what advice did you get that really helped you?
It wasn't so much advice as it was my therapist kind of nudging me into self-reflection to the point where I would spend an entire 45-minute session talking myself in a circle before he said anything until I repeated myself enough to realize, oh, I did this because of this. But a tool that he gave me was for a month straight, I would go home and every morning when I woke up, I would write 3 things that I was thankful for. And at the end of the day, I would write 3 things that I was proud of myself for. And yeah, it was a really cute practice that kind of builds your self-esteem without so much like standing in a mirror and looking at yourself and saying, you are powerful, you are strong, you can do anything you set your mind to.
I know people that do that all the time.
Oh my God.
They always are like, you should do that. I'm like,
no.
I don't think that's me.
Yeah, me either.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
How amazing therapy is. I'm a huge advocate for people.
Because I know there was a stigma for a long time with therapy, and now everyone's finally realizing a lot of people have problems and it's better to work them out.
Well, even if you don't have problems.
Yeah.
Like I convinced my fiance to do couples therapy just so we can communicate
That's good
better.
to have.
Yeah, it's like resources for every day of your life.
Yeah.
To help you be a better person, achieve what you want to achieve, like get your life on track, understand why you do the things you do or feel the way you feel half the time. So
Right.
even after I felt like I was, I got what I needed out of therapy, I will never stop going.
Well, I feel like with marriage, you have marriage prep, and it's like kind of similar. So I feel like why not do it more often?
Yeah, it's fun.
Would you ever do anything in psychology?
On psychology?
Just in psychology? 'Cause
Like
it
go back
sounds
to
like-
school?
Well, not necessarily go back to school.
Then yes, maybe.
Yeah.
Why? Are you
It
offering?
seems like you're really interested.
Do you need
in
a
it.
therapist? It's $300
I've never
an
had
hour.
a therapist. I don't know if I can pay that much.
All right. Okay. You drive a hard bargain, but I'll do it for free.
Wow, free therapy from Mia Khalifa.
As long as we get to do it in your beautiful home.
We would mostly just be playing poker or like.
Or
games.
Pokemon.
Or Pokemon.
Yeah. I know you got a Pokemon to catch before it runs away from the Walmart parking lot. We're keeping that in.
You,
Yes.
where do you usually go with your friends to eat?
Postmates.
Yeah.
No, actually.
So everyone
Uber
comes
Eats.
to you. What's like a cool night? Do you guys do like game nights? Like, or is it?
I like
just
to
you
cook
and
at home a
fiancé?
lot. I like to have as many people over as possible and cook way too much fucking food and then send everyone home with leftovers.
Aw, that's so nice. It's like a free restaurant.
Basically, yeah, I guess. Now I'm gonna start charging when you put it like that.
You're like, wait, I'm giving away all this good stuff. What's your favorite thing to
Exactly.
cook?
I like trying new recipes.
Yeah.
I would say Lebanese food is the most comforting to cook, just
What's
because
like
it's
a Lebanese staple?
hummus.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah,
else
that's
is
my
mainly
favorite.
just stews and, bowls of rice and stews. But anything you see at like a Greek restaurant is pretty much Lebanese as well, because it's
Oh,
a
nice.
Mediterranean country.
Well, Mia, thank you so much for being here today. I'm glad I had the time to talk to you and get to know you a little bit.
This was so fun.
Yeah.